As the dust of political unrest settles, the silhouette of a new world order begins to take shape. The stage is set for a showdown that could redefine the very fabric of American democracy. The players, former President Donald Trump, current President Joe Biden, and a host of others who are caught in the crossfire of this high-stakes game of power and control. Recent events have thrust us into a whirlwind of legal battles and political maneuvering that have far-reaching implications. Colorado and Maine, two key battleground states, have taken the unprecedented step of barring Trump from their ballots due to an insurrection clause in the Constitution. A move largely seen as a direct response to the Capitol riots of January 6th. It has sparked a heated debate over the interpretation of an 1800s law and the alleged partisan manipulation of elections. At first glance, this may seem like a simple case of political retaliation. However, beneath the surface, a complex web of strategies and motivations is unraveling. Republicans view this move as a continuation of efforts to sideline Trump, while many within their ranks are yearning for new options beyond the repetitive Biden-Trump face-off. The outcome of this legal tug-of-war will not only determine the candidates for the 2024 elections, but will also significantly influence future election strategies. Reinstating Trump could galvanize his base, signaling perceived injustice and sparking renewed fervor. On the other hand, upholding the ban could give Biden an edge, potentially simplifying his path to re-election. Yet this political chess match is not without risks. This decision could ignite a retaliatory firestorm, paving the way for political warring over Biden's agenda and investigations. The stakes are high, and the consequences could be dire. We stand on the precipice of a future that could be shaped by these legal battles, court decisions, and political strategies. The foundations of our democracy are being tested as we grapple with questions about the interpretation of our Constitution, the sanctity of our elections, and the limits of political power. So sit tight and buckle up as we navigate through this complex labyrinth of power play and political maneuvering. Because when the dust settles, we could be looking at a very different political landscape. Watch this before it's too late, because there's a hidden plan in motion that could strip us of everything we hold dear. On a notification from the Oval Office. Today, we're diving into one of the most significant recent announcements that could fundamentally reshape the United States as we know. It's an unexpected policy change from the White House concerning immigration and housing. The White House has always been a hub of decisions that impact not only the United States, but the entire world. Recently, the Biden administration dropped a bombshell announcement that sent ripples across the nation. The details are still emerging, and the true scope of this decision remains shrouded in mystery as the information is kept close to the chest by the administration. This groundbreaking decision pertains to the handling and accommodation of illegal immigrants, a topic that has long been a lightning rod for controversy and heated debates. Immigration has been a cornerstone of America's identity as a melting pot of cultures. Yet it remains one of the most contentious issues in our society. This new policy could throw a wrench into the already complex machinery of immigration laws and regulations, potentially causing widespread ramifications. Millions of Americans already face challenges in the realms of housing and immigration, and it's unclear how this sudden shift will impact individuals, communities, and the nation as a whole. Will this exacerbate existing problems, or could it be a step towards resolving long-standing issues? As the situation rapidly evolves, many questions remain unanswered about the full implications of this policy change. With this announcement, the White House has essentially turned the spotlight onto two critical issues: immigration and housing. Both are integral facets of the American dream: the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. However, these are also domains fraught with disparities, discrimination, and systemic issues. This decision could potentially reshape immigration and housing policy in the U.S., setting a new course for how these matters are addressed in the future. It's not just about the immediate impact. This could set a precedent that influences policy decisions for years, if not decades, to come. The ripples of this decision will likely be felt far and wide. On an individual level, it could affect immigrants' lives and their journey towards American citizenship. Neighborhoods may undergo demographic shifts, leading to changes in community dynamics. Cities might see alterations in their housing markets, population distribution, and resource allocation. Amidst the uncertainty and speculation, one thing is clear: this announcement marks a pivotal moment in the history of U.S. immigration and housing policy. It underscores the power of the White House to effect change and the far-reaching implications of its decisions. Go to banking turmoil. Now let's talk about The recent bankruptcy filing by one of China's largest banks, Zhang Tefuth, and what it means for the global banking system. Zhang Tezikov isn't just any bank. It's one of China's largest and most influential financial institutions, and its insolvency is a symptom of a deeper, more systemic issue affecting many nations. Widespread currency shortage. The collapse of such a significant player in the global financial market is not just a national crisis. It's a harbinger of potential crises in numerous other countries. A recent audit revealed that Zhang Tefuth had debts amounting to a staggering 460 billion yuan. With assets of only 200 billion yuan, this devastating financial shortfall has parallels in the US, where regional banks have been acquiring low-interest bonds that have plunged in value due to rate hikes. The collapse of Zhang Tefuth serves as a chilling foreshadowing of risks that other global banks may face, especially those vulnerable to similar triggers. The domino effect that could result from this situation is a cause for concern for all stakeholders in the global financial system. China's current economic climate is exacerbating the situation. The country has been grappling with a property slump, weak demand, and trade challenges, which have caused its stock market to plummet for 3 consecutive years. The downfall of Zhangxi, another major Chinese bank, began when its trust company affiliates failed to repay customers, further unraveling the solvency of the banking system. Beijing's attempts to stimulate lending highlight the systemic risks now affecting even wealthy Chinese investors. With another Chinese bank struggling with debts exceeding assets, there are increasing instances of asset freezes and confiscations. The crisis suggests that the People's Bank of China, the country's central bank, may need to undertake drastic measures such as rate cuts to stabilize the financial system. The ripple effects of this situation are not confined to China. They have the potential to disrupt global economic stability. The White House is reportedly in panic mode, acutely aware that any financial instability could adversely affect the U.S. economy and potentially impact President Biden's election prospect. The interconnectedness of today's global financial system means that a crisis in one part of the world can quickly spread to others. 3. Navigating housing hurdles for immigrants. Now let's discuss Biden administration's consideration of using unused government properties to house the increasing number of undocumented immigrants entering the U.S. The United States has long been seen as a land of opportunity, attracting immigrants from around the world. However, this influx of people has led to an escalating challenge: where to house these new arrivals. In response, the Biden administration is considering a controversial solution: repurposing unused federal properties as housing for undocumented immigrants. And with over 8,000 unused federal properties potentially available for conversion, this plan could provide much needed shelter for thousands of immigrants. However, this decision could have far-reaching implications, not least for the millions of American citizens already grappling with the challenges of affordable housing. The United States is in the throes of a housing crisis. Soaring property prices and stagnant wages have left many Americans struggling to find affordable places to live. Now, the prospect of thousands of federal properties being allocated to house immigrants raises a pressing question. What does this mean for American citizens in desperate need of affordable housing? The financial burden of maintaining and managing housing in these federal properties will likely fall on taxpayers. As resources are redirected to accommodate immigrants, the strain on existing social services and infrastructure may increase. This raises concerns about the potential impact on American citizens, particularly those already disadvantaged and marginalized. Balancing the housing and financial needs of both American citizens and immigrants will undoubtedly be a challenging task for the government. This delicate balancing act involves not only addressing the immediate needs of immigrants, but also ensuring that the rights and needs of existing citizens are not compromised. The long-term impacts of these decisions on communities and the economy remain unclear. Will this initiative lead to increased social integration, or could it exacerbate divisions? How will it affect local economies, property values, and community resources? 4. Chase Bank enforces permanent account terminations and personal bans. In recent months, a disturbing trend has emerged that has left many individuals in a state of shock and confusion. Chase Bank, one of the largest financial institutions in the world, has been permanently closing accounts and banning individuals without any prior warning or explanation. Is this a new policy or a hidden plan that could potentially rob us of our hard-earned money? Let's delve deeper into this disconcerting issue. It all starts with a sudden notification from Chase Bank stating that your account is being closed. No reason is provided, And when you reach out to them, you're informed that you have been banned from opening any new accounts. The decision is final, irreversible, and apparently non-negotiable. This sudden closure of accounts and the outright ban on individuals has left many customers scrambling to find alternatives and questioning the ethics of such a move. Let's roll. A bank is not just a place where we store money. It is an institution that we trust to safeguard our hard-earned savings and assist us in our financial journey. But what could possibly prompt Chase Bank to take such drastic measures? While Chase Bank has remained tight-lipped about the exact reasons behind these closures, several theories have been put forward by experts and those affected. One such speculation suggests that Chase Bank is using advanced AI technology to create personality profiles of its customers. These profiles, based on transaction history, spending habits, and other data, are then used to assess the risk factor associated with each customer. If a customer's profile is deemed too risky, it could lead to an immediate account closure and a permanent ban. This could include anything from frequent large transactions, a sudden increase in account activity, or even the types of businesses where the customer spends their money. The use of AI in banking is not a new concept. Banks have been leveraging AI technology to detect fraud, streamline operations, and improve customer service. But the use of AI to profile customers and potentially ban them based on their financial behavior raises serious ethical and legal concerns. What's more disturbing is that the lines between personal and business transactions are becoming increasingly blurred. As a result, contractors, freelancers, and small business owners who deposit government checks or make frequent large transactions have also found themselves on the receiving end of these sudden account closures. The lack of transparency from Chase Bank regarding these closures is another cause for concern. Customers are left in the dark with no clear understanding of why their accounts were closed or what they did to warrant such a drastic measure. This lack of communication not only fuels speculation, but also erodes trust in the banking institution. This pattern of closures is not just an isolated incident. It points to a much larger issue concerning customer profiling and risk assessment practices. It forces us to question the role of in our financial institutions and the potential misuse of our personal and financial data. 5 AG government approach to immigration issues. The ongoing migrant crisis has pushed the United States into uncharted waters, with major cities like New York and Chicago reaching a boiling point. The federal response to this complex situation is under intense scrutiny, as the implications of their decisions will not only shape the future of urban centers, but also significantly impact taxpayers and those seeking refuge. In recent times, the influx of migrants has been overwhelming, leading to drastic measures such as suburbs voting to restrict bus drop-offs and New York City suing Texas charter bus companies for $700 in costs. Despite being a sanctuary city, New York's decision to sue raises questions about its preparedness and resources to handle this crisis. Amidst this mounting crisis, the Biden administration is considering housing immigrants in federal buildings as a potential solution. While this may seem like an immediate resolution to the pressing problem, it could have far-reaching implications that we need to consider carefully. Firstly, using federal buildings as temporary shelters for immigrants presents a significant logistical challenge. Not all cities have enough federal buildings to accommodate the influx of immigrants. Furthermore, these buildings serve various government functions, and repurposing them could disrupt essential services. Secondly, the financial implications of this movie are considerable. Refurbishing these buildings to make them habitable, providing daily necessities, and ensuring security and healthcare services for the immigrants will require substantial government funding. This cost will ultimately burden the taxpayers, making it crucial to monitor how the situation unfolds. The federal response to immigration also involves ongoing talks between Democrats and Republicans. However, finding a solution that satisfies both parties' differing views on immigration is a daunting task. The Democrats advocate for more inclusive immigration policies, while the Republicans push for stricter border control and immigration laws. The divergent viewpoints have led to a gridlock with no easy fixes in sight. This political stalemate highlights the complexity of the immigration issue and emphasizes the need for a comprehensive bipartisan approach to address it effectively. Adding to the complexity of the situation are the lawsuits and pushback from various parties. For example, New York City's lawsuit against Texas charter bus companies indicates the strain that the migrant crisis is putting on city resources. On the other hand, the pushback from suburbs against bus drop-offs reflects the growing resistance among local communities towards the influx of migrants. To navigate these uncharted waters, it's clear that the federal response to immigration will significantly impact our urban centers' future and the lives of those seeking refuge. The decisions made today will resonate for years to come, shaping the societal fabric of our nation. 6. The slump in housing and economic sectors, the current state of the housing market and overall economy is more dire than we realize. Despite the lowered interest rates, mortgage demand is falling. People are struggling to pay their bills, credit card debts are piling up, and job prospects are uncertain. This bleak situation begs the question, is there a hidden plan in motion that could strip us of everything we hold dear? Let's take a closer look at the housing market first. Traditionally, lowering interest rates has been a surefire way to stimulate housing demand. However, this time around, it seems to have little effect. Reason: people fundamentally lack money. This is a temporary issue that can be fixed with stimulus checks or eviction moratoriums. It's a deep-rooted problem that stems from the money printing frenzy of 2020, aimed at stimulating the economy during the pandemic. While this move may have provided a temporary reprieve, it's now clear that the repercussions are far more severe and long-lasting. The average American is feeling the pinch, struggling to keep up with regular bills. Only half of Americans believe they can pay off their December credit card bills from last year, indicating a significant debt burden. While some may argue that this is a temporary setback resulting from the holiday season, the reality is that it's indicative of a much deeper financial crunch. The job market, too, is not as healthy as it appears on the surface. There's been some job growth. Job openings are decreasing. This suggests a shrinking job market, which could lead to higher unemployment rates in the future. Even the burgeoning tech sectors, often seen as immune to economic downturns, are facing layoffs. This points to broader economic problems that go beyond a few companies adjusting their workforce. The long-term impact of the decisions made in 2020 is still unclear, but the signs are not promising. With the average American facing difficulties affording homes, burdened with heavy credit card debt, and uncertain about job prospects, it's not hard to see why there's growing concern about the future. So what does this all mean? Is there a hidden plan at play that could potentially strip us of everything we hold dear? While it's easy to fall prey to conspiracy theories in times of uncertainty, it's crucial to remember that economies are complex entities influenced by a multitude of factors. However, it's also essential to recognize that some of the decisions made by those in power can have far-reaching consequences. The money printing in 2020 may have been necessary to keep the economy afloat during an unprecedented crisis. Still, it's also contributed to the financial squeeze we're experiencing today. Similarly, the decision to lower interest rates to stimulate housing demand hasn't had the desired effect because of the broader economic issues at play. In essence, these decisions, while well-intentioned, may have set us on a path that could potentially strip us of our financial security. The question now is, what are the next moves and how do we navigate this shifting economic landscape? It's clear that we need a comprehensive plan that addresses the root causes of these issues rather than just the symptoms. This includes creating sustainable jobs, managing debt levels, and ensuring affordable housing for all. Moreover, it's crucial to foster financial literacy, helping people understand how to manage their money effectively and make informed decisions about their financial future. 7, making the most of federal real estate. Federal government's recent plan to use approximately 8,000 used federal properties to house the growing number of undocumented immigrants entering the country is a move that could have far-reaching implications. These properties include schools, libraries, and churches that once served local communities. The conversion of these buildings could profoundly impact neighborhoods, altering their character and dynamics. This isn't merely about opening doors and providing shelter. The facilities would need substantial management, maintenance, and equipment to house people adequately. It would require a significant amount of funding, not to mention the staffing needed to keep these operations running smoothly. These expenses are likely to be shouldered by taxpayers, raising questions about the best use of funds and the long-term effects on communities. Moreover, providing essential services such as healthcare, education, and employment for new residents will pose additional challenges. Integrating these services into local systems will require careful planning, coordination, and additional resources. It could strain existing infrastructure and resources, potentially leading to disparities in service provision and quality. But the implications go beyond the immediate logistical and financial challenges. The future of these properties after the crisis is also uncertain. Will they return to their original uses, serving the local community as they once did? Or will they remain as permanent housing solutions, shaping the communities for years to come? These are questions we must grapple with as we navigate through this complex issue. They highlight the broader implications of the government's plan, hidden plan that could strip us of everything we hold dear. While the intent behind the plan, to provide shelter for those in need, is commendable, the execution and potential ramifications raise serious concerns. The conversion of federal properties into housing facilities could fundamentally alter the fabric of local communities. Schools, libraries, and churches are not just buildings. They are integral parts of communities, serving various social, educational, and spiritual needs. Their conversion into housing facilities could disrupt these community services, leading to a loss of communal spaces. It could also change the character of neighborhoods, potentially leading to gentrification, displacement, and social tension. These are significant considerations that must be taken into account when implementing such a plan. Moreover, the burden of funding these operations will fall on taxpayers. While it's essential to support those in need, it's equally important to ensure that public funds are used efficiently and effectively. This necessitates transparency in how the funds are used and accountability for the outcomes achieved. The long-term use of these properties is another critical consideration. If these facilities become permanent housing solutions, it could have a lasting impact on communities. It could lead to changes in local demographics, property values, and community dynamics. On the other hand, if these properties are returned to their original uses after the crisis, it could lead to displacement and instability for those housed in them.